Hi guys, my name is Sloan Clendenin, and this is my Should Children Be Allowed in Public School Systems if they do not have any vaccinations? Also, I want to say congratulations to all of us. It's the last week of class, so if you made it this far, congrats. But I do want to start off by saying that throughout history and throughout time, there have been diseases such as whooping cough and measles and mumps and leprosy and all this stuff that, as a child, as a baby, shortly after we're born, we go and we get these lists of vaccinations to help prevent us from catching diseases. I understand that there may be a few exceptions, and there are some of those that I agree with. Religious exemptions, I completely 100% agree that if you're, going about your faith, that you should not let anything infringe on your faith. I wholeheartedly stand with that, and I agree 100%. Next, if your child has a compromised immune system and you and your child's physician have talked in depth about, it would be more harmful than good to introduce a vaccine like this, something that's very invasive to the child. If it's going to do more harm than good and hurt them, and you guys have both decided that, then I could see why that would not be a reason to get your child vaccinated. One other thing is, some people believe that children don't have the ability to speak for themselves, so they should not be vaccinated. However, this is where my head starts to shift. There are things that you as a parent are ultimately responsible for, and that is the safety and well-being of your child. If your child was born perfectly healthy, I don't see any reason as to why we would not need to vaccinate our children. If you have a child that is unvaccinated and you go to a different country where vaccinations are not as popular, it may be okay here in the US because everyone is vaccinated. But if you go to another country and they don't have such a strict vaccination policy, if your child has the smallest little cut on their hand and they touch a doorknob that another person that has the measles or the mumps has, they're so much more susceptible to getting these types of illnesses. So I think it would be better to have these precautions in place and go ahead and set your child up for success and let your child have that strong immune system, have those antibodies inside of them fighting against stuff like this that are built up their entire life with all these boosters that they get. So that would be my biggest thing with that is, yes, children do have rights to an extent. They cannot comprehend what a vaccination is, why it's going to happen for them. They just know it's a big long thing that's going in their arm that's going to hurt. So of course any child's going to say no, they don't want that, right? So you as the parent need to take the initiative, step up and say, hey, this is my child. I need to look after them the same way that you need to provide them meals and provide them clothes. Some of us may fall short in that category sometimes, and that is okay. It is okay to make mistakes, but as the parent, we need to make sure that we are pushing forward for the children and making sure that they have a safe environment. And another thing is, there are those children that have weakened immune systems that are in the school. If your child is just carrying these communicable diseases around and they're not showing any signs, if this kid that has the weakened immune system comes in contact with your child, you're putting their life in danger. When you're putting someone else's child's life in danger because of your own actions, that is not okay. When you just don't want something to be invasive to your child, to put another child in harm's way, is you need to do some reflecting. Next, I want to touch on public safety again. So if we are out and about and I use the escalator at the mall and I have a communicable disease, or I'm carrying the whatever it's called, the trait for the measles and your little boy gets on the escalator behind me and I just touch the handrail and he touches the handrail and he's not vaccinated, the chance of that, him getting sick, is very high. And then he can take that back to his public school that he attends and pass that around to all the kids there. So this is why we need to make sure that we are putting these things in place. This is why most schools in the United States require vaccinations, is because it's such a big thing to prevent the spread of illnesses. And that's why when something happens like a pandemic like coronavirus back in 2019, we saw such a large spread, is because we didn't have any antibodies to fight against that. So these are the things that we need to do to take precaution towards it. There are some alternatives you can do. Private school, there are tons of private schools out there that don't require so much vaccination records, if any at all. So that's a great alternative there. Online school, you can move at your own pace, have your child work on certain subjects that they're interested in. And homeschool, just if you're able to stay at home with your kid and that's a choice you take, I ultimately believe that that would be the best option for you. Where I found all this information was the World Health Organization, the New York Times, the CDC, the Academic Academy of Pediatrics, and the National Public Radio. So thank you all for listening to my video. I really hope that you get a good grade on this the rest of the semester, and I hope you guys will leave me some feedback. But this was my point of view on children being in public schools and having no vaccinations at all. So thank you. Have a good day. Bye.